They called him a ghost rider, a man who vanished into the mountains, only to strike again. To some, he was a savage threat. To others, a hero. But to his people, he was the last breath of a free Apache nation. This is the story of Geronimo, the Chiricahua Apache warrior who defied the empires of Mexico and the United States. A man who would not bend, who would not break, who, even in chains, remained undefeated in spirit. Geronimo was born Goakla, meaning one who yawns, around 1829, in what is now New Mexico, then Mexican territory. He belonged to the Bidanco band of the Chiricahua Apache. Life was hard but free. His people were hunters, warriors, and survivors in one of the harshest landscapes in North America. But his life changed forever in 1851. While he was away on a trading mission, Mexican soldiers raided his camp. When he returned, he found his mother, his wife, and his 3 children murdered. That moment forged something unbreakable in him. He swore vengeance not just against the Mexican army, but against oppression itself. He would spend the next 30 years at war. Geronimo became a leader, not because he sought it, but because of his ferocity, cunning, and ability to vanish into the land. He could navigate canyons and deserts that swallowed armies. He escaped capture so many times, soldiers whispered that he had supernatural powers. He led dozens of raids against Mexican towns, cavalry posts, and later American forts. His hit and run ambushes, daring night raids, illusions in the sand to mislead pursuers. He crossed into Mexico more than 100 times, using the border as a shield against both governments. To the U.S. military, he was public enemy number 1. To his people, he was the last warrior standing. By the 1880s, the U.S. was desperate to capture Geronimo. Thousands of soldiers were deployed under General George Crook and later General Nelson A. Miles. But Geronimo eluded them, again and again. He had only 30 warriors at his side, but they held off an empire. Eventually, Crook persuaded him to surrender. But when Geronimo learned that he and his people would be imprisoned indefinitely, he escaped again, into the Sierra Madre Mountains. It took a year, and the help of Apache scouts, to finally corner him. In 1886, Geronimo surrendered to General Miles. He was the last major Native American leader to do so. But it wasn't the end. He was not executed. Instead, he became a prisoner of war, shuttled from fort to fort, ending up in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. Yet even in captivity, he captivated the world. He appeared at the 1904 World's Fair, met President Theodore Roosevelt, and even rode in Theodore Roosevelt's inaugural parade in 1905. But he never stopped asking one question. When will I be allowed to return home? The answer was never. Geronimo died in 1909, after being thrown from a horse and left outside overnight, unable to get help. He died in. His last words were bitter. I should never have surrendered. I should have fought until I was the last man alive. He is buried at Fort Sill, under military guard. But his legacy, it rides the winds of the Southwest. Geronimo wasn't just a warrior. He was a symbol of resistance, a cultural survivor, and a reminder that freedom, once tasted, is not easily surrendered. To this day, soldiers shout his name before jumping from planes. Geronimo. But few know the pain and pride behind it. This was Geronimo, the man who refused to be conquered. The land remembers. The wind still carries the echo of hooves. And in the bones of the Southwest, Geronimo rides on.